Welcome, y'all, to
Um,
Shade and the City. I'm your girl, Treese.
it's Nels.
And today, y'all, we are here to get into none other than the love that happens after the lockup. This is season 6, episode 7. Don't hate the player, okay? We definitely need to hate the player, all right?
Which
If you have,
one?
huh?
Which one?
All of them. So yeah, y'all, if you have not already, please make sure you hit that like button for us.
And that subscribe button.
And y'all, let's jump right into it. And let's get shady. Okay, well, let's get it kicked off with none other than Alexis and Julius. I need to get a new picture because Ashley is irrelevant at this point. She is a non-factor. All right. So we see Alexis in the front of her car crying because we know she definitely doesn't have a Rolls Royce, so she doesn't have room to get in the back and cry. Okay. Now Julius said that, he should have told her sooner. So she goes back in. I don't know why, because I would have driven it off and left his butt there. But she said, I shouldn't have to share you. And so Julius said, well, it's nothing but a misunderstanding. At the end of the day got to end. So none of that matters. Okay. Because she knows that he loves her. And so Alexis is confused as hell, as I'm sure most of us were. And Julia says he never did anything romantic with Ashley, but admits he did see her the day before. He didn't really go see Tyler. Okay. So he tells her that he went to let her know they're not that. But him and Alexis, they're that. I said, please. I said, clearly he won't read no book. Well, Miss
What?
Congruent.
I would have need clarification. What is that?
Now, who knows? Who
You
knows?
can get with this, or you can
You
get
can
with
get with that. Right.
that.
So I would be mad you calling me a that. But anyway, so Alexis is questioning, well, what more he needs after all she sacrificed. And so she was like, well, did you have sex with her? And of course, Julius says that, he didn't. He knows it was wrong lying to her. And he tells her, hold up. He tells her, well, that's ended. And you ain't even got to hear about it no more. Like he was doing her a favor. I said, he really just makes my ass itch. Okay. And so then, he does apologize and ask for her forgiveness. And she tells him that she loves him and she does want it to work long term, but she needs time to think about it. Lies she tells. So when they get back to the house the next day, it seemed like, or maybe it was later that day, she's still upset about Julius talking to Ashley. She tells him that he needs to show that he can trust her. So first of all, he on the couch playing video games. Now, at this point, after you piss me off, I need to have flowers at the door, some edible arrangements. I need you to be down on bended knee. Baby, please don't kick me out because I ain't got nowhere else to go. But
Boombox
Julia,
at my window.
right, boombox at my window. But Julia said, nah, that ain't him. That ain't that.
That
Okay.
I was just about to say this ain't that.
So he says, look, all they can do is continue to build and do what they doing. And I said, so then Alexis makes it clear, look, I'm not about to deal with no other women. And he said, well, it's not any other women to really worried about anymore. And so she was like, well, you know what? I think what would help is if we share locations. And he said, I don't know about that. He said, that's something I need to think about. Well, he tells the production that he feels like she should trust him since he's the one that told her.
Because she asked. It's not
That
like you
part.
with the information. I can appreciate the fact that he was honest, but
Right.
if he was just honest because he's on camera and she would have seen it anyway.
Well, she does make him promise not to deal with any other women, and then production asks him if he's talking to any other women, and he lies and says no.
He did. He looked like he was lying, didn't he?
Yeah, he looked like he was lying. And the bad part is that's how you know he's a bad liar, because you could tell he was trying to give you a straight face to make you believe whatever was coming out his mouth. But you
That
could,
what
yeah, he was trying. He was putting effort into acting like looking like he wasn't lying.
and that's crazy because that's what made him look like he was
Like
lying.
he was lying. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's a good old Julius and Alexis for you. All right, let's get into, unfortunately, Boo Boo the Fool. I'm sorry. That's what I gotta call Joey. Y'all know I love Joey, but he get on my damn nerves because Michael is playing in his face.
So either Michael don't know how this thing work, or he really just don't give a damn because he's on camera talking slam mess about Joey to his homeboy or whomever this man is to him.
I was gonna say,
To his dude Joey. I mean Jacob. So Joey comes in and sees he's on the phone to find out that he's on the phone with Jacob and asks if he's a positive influence. That man told him no. And I thought he was joking at first. I thought he was gonna be like, ha, 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 ha. He just kind of left it at that. I was like, oh, okay. So then Michael told Joey to take him to his mom's house so he can pick up his car, probably so he can go out and do what the hell he want to do. That's really what I thought it was. So Joey's in the car concerned about who the hell uh Jacob was. He want to know who the hell this man is. And Michael told him that, listen, I don't intend to go out and relapse. But relapsing ain't the end of the world. I said, oh,
when he said that, I said, "Oh, we're done."
I said, there you go.
There you go.
There you go. All right. At this point, I think he just wants to worry Joey. Like, I think he kind of gets a kick out of it too. So Michael is heading to the halfway house while Joey follows behind him. And he said he really, you know, didn't have much time, but if he was really lusting over Joey like that, he could have asked his PO for a few extra minutes. But he didn't want to. It's given he want to get as far away from this man as possible.
Yes, that's what it was really given. I was like, oh, so you got out and found out you basically he used you, because it seemed like Michael don't like him at all. Like
No.
there's nothing.
Mm-mm. And he said that, he doesn't know how to live life sober. And it's really been messing with his mental. And he thinks Joey is starting to pick up on it, and he definitely is. So after Joey left the halfway house, he said he doesn't even
Of course
think.
he's picking up on it because he's a former addict. That's what makes it. That's why I said he's Boo Boo the Fool, and I can't feel bad for Joey no more because he's doing it to himself.
Yeah, but he doesn't even think Michael would make it a month in recovery. He said because he's against this whole recovery thing. He don't want to do none of it, and it made him emotional because he said he's in love with a drug addict, and he don't want to go down that road with him. So then the next day, Michael is supposed to be meeting up with Joey at the hotel. But of course, his ass is late after saying he wasn't going to be. And this man, of course, is worried that he done went out, relapsed. He don't know what the hell he doing. He ain't pick up the phone. He's not there. And he's supposed to meet his brother at 2:00, and it's 1:50. He still didn't hear from him. He still ain't show up. But then he finally gets to the hotel at 2:05 and said he was running late because he had a urine analysis that he failed, and they're kicking him out. Did you think it was a joke? Did you think it was a joke, or you think he's for real? Because of course they left it as at a cliffhanger.
I thought he was telling the truth. I absolutely thought he was telling the truth. I mean, maybe he could be.
I feel like he really likes to, like, he gets a kick out of making Joey kind of like worried or like on edge. So I thought maybe it was a joke. Because I would think if he's in a halfway house, does that mean he's out on parole, right? Because that would just be a violation, right? Wouldn't he just go back to jail?
Yeah.
So to kick him out and let you still come there.
I was going to say, because at that point, technically, if you know what, I'm glad that you asked or said something, because to your point, He should have been violated. And if he did run out of there knowing that he was going to be violated, then technically you're on the run at this point.
I mean, I know it's possible, but I think it's hard to just run out of there. They have police officers there
Oh,
to lock you up.
look, don't act. I ain't gonna act like I know.
They have police there if you fail to lock you up and take you away immediately. So that
Oh,
it didn't really make any sense to me. So I thought maybe he was joking and just trying to get him worried because I think he kind of get a kick out of it.
mm, okay. I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. But yeah, no, Joey, that's on you, boo. That's on you.
Mhm.
All right. Two people we haven't seen in a while, and I was okay with it. It's Quiana and Damoderick. Now, Quiana, they were at the barbecue and she is asking Damoderick for some space because she's upset because Juela's there. And Damoderick is trying to explain to her that he came home to her and Juela is there because of his kids. Um, and Quiana feels like she's being disrespected. She feels like he's being too friendly and he was wrong for hugging her because we know he cheated on her with Juela. And I
Twice.
guess twice. And obviously that's how she got the other last two kids. Okay. So she's back at the house explaining to her friends about how she was upset with him and not Juela so much. So both of the friends are letting her know, like, you doing a lot and you shouldn't let a little appearance dictate your emotions, especially in front of his family. And I said, thank God you got some good friends with some sense. Okay. So Demodrick's dad asked him how he's feeling, and he says that, his mother would have behaved the same way that Quiana did. So Demodrick just doesn't understand how Quiana is upset by him talking to the mother of his child, or children rather. And doesn't he have like 6 kids? She only has 3. Doesn't he have 3
Oh
other
yeah.
kids?
Hmm. I think so. Yeah.
So I ain't even gonna ask where they were.
But this
So
this is this is the only one he has a problem that she has a problem with though.
mm, so his dad admits that he's rooting for Quiana because she's held him down this whole time that he's been locked up. He hands Demodrick a ring, an engagement ring at that, and tells him,
And
make
that's
his
super nice too.
It was nice. It definitely wasn't no like thrift shop 90-day stuff that we be seeing. But he tells him to make good on his promise, or make his promise as good as he wants it to be. So, Demodrick thanks his dad and he puts it in his pocket. And he honestly said, I don't know if I'm ready to marry her, but I think maybe giving her the ring will help her feel more secure.
Oh, see, all I
So,
heard was give her the ring to shut her up. So my
well,
thing was,
that too.
does that mean that he gonna get her another ring? Like this is just a shut up ring, and then you gonna get another ring to propose with? What does that mean?
No, I think he's going to propose, but he's not rushing down the aisle.
Oh, that's what that means.
Yeah, I think that's what that means.
Oh,
So to your point, it's a shut up ring.
mm.
I'm gonna shut you up for a while. So on Juela's ride home, she talks about how it was a lot of drama for a simple coming home party. She questions why Quiana wants to be with a man that she can't trust, but said that, that's okay. I'm here for it. So then they get back to Quiana's house and she shows him around, but she's still upset with him. And he tells her, look, I was just co-parenting. Quiana ain't trying to hear it. She ready to get into bed. So he decides he gonna get up once Quiana falls asleep, and he calls Juela in the middle of the night. Um, and he apologizes for the commotion at the barbecue and asks her if he can come by to see, I believe it was Kyrie. And so she tells him, yeah. And for some reason, I assumed that meant he was getting ready to run over there.
I thought so too. And you know what? I'm mad because ain't this the girl that spent all this money on him?
Who, Quiana?
Yes. And you ain't got no ring camera. You just spent all this money on this.
Again, I said, why her wigs look like that if she spent all that? If 20, she said
A ring
20,000.
camera is $100, girl. You would have caught this. You would have caught, and look, and not just because
Got to be is only $10 to keep her wig from lifting. So I understand what you're saying.
My thing is, girl, production caught it. So imagine how many times he do it. If you had a ring camera out there, you would have caught it all the time.
Well, that part.
You ain't got no ring camera to catch this.
That part. So then Demodrick knows that Quiana would be upset if he knew that he called Juela at that hour. The next morning, he tries to explain to her that he doesn't feel the need to be mean to Juela and that he was just being cordial. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I kind of felt what he was saying. Like, we don't have any issues. Why would I create a problem with the mother of my kids?
The problem, no. no. The problem started with him because you invited her without letting your girl know.
Okay, yes, I'm
That's
sorry. I cannot
that's
negate
where the
that.
problem started, and he's not even taking accountability for that.
Okay.
I don't even know if she knows that he invited her because she keeps on talking about the disrespect. Oh, the hugging or whatever. Fine. But I don't even think that she knows that he's the one that invited her, that he had to sit down with this girl and invited
Yeah,
her.
to your point, I think that he tried to play it off like, oh, it's a family gathering and she was
Exactly.
bringing my kids and the family invited her. I get what you're saying.
Exactly.
So of course, she's still bringing up the fact that she felt he was too friendly. She feels like, they're still healing from him cheating on her. And she lets him know, but now that I'm not that mad no more, I got a little surprise plan for you. And so she walks off, and then he gets a text from Joella. And he said that, he's looking forward to being consistent and faithful to one woman. He said, I don't want to be a player no more. Oh, Nels doesn't believe it.
I don't even see how he's a player.
Well, there's that. But hey, again, we've seen.
What are these things on the side of his head?
There's someone for everybody.
What is it? It's a top to every pot.
Yeah, there's a lid to every pot. There you go. There's a lid to every pot. Speaking of, there's a lid to every pot. That's a perfect segue into Will and Courtney. Clearly, Courtney is Will's lid.
Actually, by the end of this, I felt like there was a match made in heaven. So yeah, Will and Courtney. This nasty man is telling production
don't sit there, don't touch that.
Yeah, what not to touch in the room because 2.5 of the 3 hours, they spent it doing some nasty things. Okay, but you know what? I got to give it to him. Okay, because he is the definition. If he wanted to, he would. Okay, he made sure he found his officiant for the hotel, and he's ready to marry that woman that day, that night. Okay.
And I love that they were getting married in a wine cellar.
He was not playing no games. So then Courtney is going to meet up with her mom to go wedding dress shopping or lack thereof. And her mom
Can we add? Hold on. I'm sorry. Look, I got to break the fourth wall. Okay. What are we in this? What looks to be like a gift shop.
I thought it was a thrift store.
Thrift store, gift shop. It just had too many things that were not wedding dresses. Not even formal dresses.
It looked like a thrift shop.
And I just was trying to understand. I said, if I was Courtney, I'm sorry, I would have been mad. I wouldn't have got married like that.
Well, for me, it's weird. For me, the excuse was weird to me because if we're in a rush and I need a dress by today, why are we going to a place that don't even sell wedding dresses? We should go where they have the wedding dresses if we're in a rush.
That part.
And just find something that fits.
I couldn't agree more.
It was given he was trying to save $1, I guess.
It was.
And I mean, who knows how much he spent?
That's what I was thinking. I said, let me not count this man pockets. He done spent a lot of money.
Yeah, he did. He spent a lot of money. So, whatever.
He did what? He did spend $10,000 on her ring.
Oh, did he?
Mm-hmm. He said he spent $10,000.
Well, I mean, can't have it all, right?
Right.
So, her mom is feeling skeptical and really trying to talk him out of getting married. But, she said she's over crying sad tears and worry tears. And now she wants to cry happy tears. It wasn't given that because, girl, you were still trying to
talk him out of it.
Exactly. So,
well, look, his mama ain't there to talk some sense into him. So somebody had to say something.
It ain't going to work. She done gave him some of the cookie. Now he don't know how to act.
Okay.
Sugar high. So then he left the store for Courtney and her mom to, have some alone time. And, she asked her, do you want to marry Will? And she said she loves him and she wants to marry him, just not in club attire.
That's funny.
I understand. Now, then she explained that her dream wedding is...
He said not in club attire, but then went out there with that leopard print jacket or whatever.
The see-through.
Oh.
That's why it was to cover her ass.
Oh,
Um,
oh, I didn't realize. Okay.
yeah. So then she explained that her dream wedding is space themed with neon lights, with glittery, glow in the dark, starry dress. And at this moment, I
I
realized
said they
we
belong
are
together.
a lot more alike than I thought.
Right.
I said, here we go. Light bulb makes more
Right.
so
Now
much
look,
sense.
she's the lid for his pot.
Exactly. So while they're trying on, dresses, her mom basically is trying to talk her out of it. And she told her mom, look, this is what I'm doing. Okay, I want to get married. It's gonna happen. It is what it is. All right. So I guess they had found a dress because when he got there, he ended up paying $217 for a bag of something. I just didn't see it. So at the hotel, they're getting ready for the wedding. And she said that it's pretty special to have her mom there to help her get dressed. She said the dress, though, looks like she was pimping and pandering.
Mm, not pandering.
With the jacket. It definitely does. That's definitely what it was given. She said she didn't have time to get him a wedding band, so they're just gonna use scrunchies.
I
That's,
love how she talk about improvisation.
that's
Okay,
creative.
that was creative.
It's a ring around your wrist. Okay.
Okay.
Courtney's sponsor told Will that he's glad that she found him. Um, and he also
It was so funny when he popped up again. I said, "Sir, are you still around? Lurking
he's a sponsor. He got to make sure she stay on track.
around?" Oh, got you.
So he offered for him to be the man of honor. He said he would absolutely love that, and he said it was too late notice for his family and friends to be there. She said Will is definitely husband material. And she could see the rest of her life with him. But she just met this man yesterday, so she is literally shitting bricks. Okay. But then, of course, they left us with a cliffhanger on whether they get married, whether she says her I do's, but I think she did. I think they definitely got married.
I think so too. I absolutely think so. Um, because I think she don't want to go back to jail, and I feel like if she stay there, her chances are probably likely higher.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's roll into Brooke and JK, y'all. Y'all know I do not see it for them, and clearly JK don't see it. I didn't realize his mouth was so jacked up like that. But anyway, so Brooke decides that she's leaving because he has all these females in his phone, and she was upset about it. So JK said, "Well, I'm not gonna chase you because I can't leave the house." And I said, "That's a good argument."
Mm-hmm.
Right. So Brooke calls her mom to see where she is and tells her,
Oh,
and
boom box and flowers and edible arrangements for you, boo.
right. Well, those can be delivered. I
Yes,
mean,
yes, yes, yes. But
so
no boom box for you.
that part. So Brooke calls her mom to see where she is and tells her, I don't know, I wouldn't bring the boys. I just left and we in the middle of some mess. Her mom said, no. Because what you're not gonna do is have me drive all the way over here. These boys are super excited. And she said, so you need to calm your ass down and go make peace. And I said,
her mom was tired of the boys.
Okay. Um, and yeah, and then her mom goes on this whole tangent. I am not about to be your babysitter. Okay, these are not my kids. And I said, well, we clearly know. So Brooke goes back.
Have another one.
Right. So Brooke goes back to talk to JK and lets him know that the boys will be there shortly. JK promises her that he's not worried about any other women, even though we know that's BS. He knows that she's pissed, or he knows that she would be pissed if she knew he called Alex, but says that he started to see red flags with her behavior and thinks she needs to loosen up a bit. Now, what I will and can appreciate, and we'll get there, is that clearly there's something wrong with Brooke. We'll get there. So finally the boys arrive and they are all over JK from the time they walk in the door, and he claims that he's ready to step up and be a father figure to these boys, even if him and Brooke don't work out, which I thought was pretty cool. But I also wonder how true that is, because is he even there for the child that is actually his? I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, so his mother gives a presentation of JK throughout the years, which I thought was really sweet. And, JK talks about how it kind of pulled at his heartstrings a little bit because a lot of people that were in the video are no longer there. And, he said that he obviously missed spending time with them, and obviously they're passing because he was locked up. So Kathy admits that she's concerned about JK getting back into drugs. Brooke asks her mom to keep the boys another night so she can figure things out. Okay. And Brooke's mom lets her know, I'm done playing baby daddy for you. Okay. And so she's like, well, I do miss my kids, but I don't trust JK if I'm not with him. You can't miss your kids that much, because if you miss your kids that much, you would take your ass home. You have a car. You clearly can drive. Just my thoughts. So then she asked her mother again to keep them for one more night, which eventually she gets her mother to fold and agree to. So Brooke tells him that, I have a great idea. Why don't we just all move in to this tiny house so we can have more sex on the geriatric bed? Let's do that. That sounds like a good idea. And so I love when JK, having more sense than her, said, first of all, the situation is already cramped. She has a job and she got kids and her own set of responsibilities. And so he tries to reassure her that, like, look, you need to trust me. I'm not going nowhere. Just chill the hell out. Okay. So at this point, Brooke decides the next day that she's going to download a tracker on JK's phone so she could track him at all times. So we clearly know how he going to get caught. Okay. JK goes to ask Kathy for some money so he can take Brooke on a date, and his mother's a little concerned that he, what the purpose of the money is and whatever. And so JK has to reassure her, like, look, I learned my lesson while I was in prison. I'm good. I ain't gonna do that no more. And Kathy is just delighted that Brooke is finally leaving. She said, she's been in his since he got out. And so then we see him take her to play putt-putt. And he basically just explains to her that no matter what happens between them, he wants to be in her son's life, because he knows what it's like to grow up without a father. Then Brooke starts getting emotional and admits that, her dad was a trucker and he wasn't around much. And she knows that a lot of her issues are basically a trauma response. So then JK decides to follow Brooke home so he can spend some more time with the boys. And then Brooke says that she enjoys seeing him that way. Here's my thing. I think she ran them other baby daddies off. I know that's terrible to say. Anyway, so he tells the boys, that once his ankle bracelet is off, he plans to take them fishing, ride four-wheelers, do all this fun stuff, right? So he pulls her mother to the side for a conversation and lets her know that he plans to be there, be there for them no matter what. And her mom said she understands, and said, and that's great, but I'm gonna let you know right now, what I'm not doing is raising kids, just so Brooke can go and run behind you. And I said, you better tell him, mama. And so then they start talking about Brooke and her insecurity and why she's so damn crazy. And her mother actually warns him, look, all that phone and Facebook and all that stuff, you see how she act. And so JK is like, but doesn't she realize that she pushes people away? And her mother was like, yeah, I've told her that. And she is still who she is. Okay. And so, she is concerned about Brooke's temper and control issues. So finally, JK leaves and calls Alex on the way home and asks if he can see her tomorrow. Because of course he got free time. And then before he hangs up, Alex tells him that she loves him, and he says he knows. And I said, well, at least he knows.
I know you do.
Mm-hmm.
It was given Julius.
Right.
So next up is Brooklyn and Brian.
What do you think about this?
Brooklyn and the creep. Huh?
Oh, you said the creep. What do you think about this? The way her brother interrogated him. Do you think he was a little out of pocket?
Yeah, but I think he was trying to be funny. I think he wanted his camera time. He was trying to be funny, like, and I think I think she expected some of what happened to happen. That's why she interrupted it. So they have to look out for Brian's release. Brooklyn's brother Jeezy is there, and she wants them to, have a conversation. So he asked Brian, what's his plan for his sister? And he said, I love her. He plans on building a life with her. So then he's like, are you planning on getting a job, or are you just going to keep on eating off my sister? And
Talk about direct questioning.
right. And it was also the way he said it too. I mean, of course, he's going to feel disrespected from there.
Right.
So, he's like, what the hell are you talking about? Like, I'm a grown ass man. Okay. And it basically tells him, like, do I need to report to you? Because I can. When I get a job, I'll be sure to let you know. And he was like, okay, yeah, we'll have a cookout for that too. I said, are you trying to send this man back to jail? Is that what you're trying to do, Jesus? And so he said, you know what? You stay here with my sister and my niece. Okay. Why wouldn't I ask you, if you're going to get a job? And he was like, I am her brother. So Brian said, you don't know me. Okay. And you don't know what I'm doing. You just assume that I'm just here sleeping and eating and not doing nothing. So then Brooklyn walks in to do a temperature check, and it was getting very awkward, very
Right.
hot, spicy. Um, and she said she know both of them got a smart ass mouth. Okay, so that's why she had to go check on them. And neither of them really discussed what they talked about. Then she told him that her dad was coming, and she wanted, her to talk to him, and try to win him over. And he was like, whoa, 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 I ain't got no problem trying to talk to him, but I'm not gonna try to win nobody over. I'm not throwing myself on nobody to make them like me. And she feels like that's the wrong attitude. She was like, if it was your mom, and you wanted me to meet her,
Right.
I'm not gonna just not care what she thinks of me, or you know what I mean. So
But I think he had enough after that brother. That's
yeah,
why
I think that was the wrong time to do that. Okay. Um, so she is super nervous for him and her dad to meet face to face for the first time. Um, but when her dad got there, she let him know, listen, we, here to celebrate my man's release. And I want you to have a conversation. He said, look, I'm about to go get my drink, my plate, and take my ass downstairs. If he wants to come down there, I'll be willing to talk to him. So she made sure to go get her man, sent his ass downstairs, to have a conversation. And daddy wanted all the tea. Why was you locked up? How long was you locked up for? And then she's
mm-hmm.
standing circling like a hawk above the stairs trying to hear the conversation. She was like, he need to show his talents. Okay. He over here sitting on the bench like he don't know what he doing. Well, go on, tell him, coach. So he did tell him that he does plan to marry Brooklyn, and her dad said, they need to move a little bit slower because you basically still locked up. You're on house arrest. You can't go past the mailbox, so you really don't even know
Right.
what's there.
I'm not even gonna lie to you. I thought that was so brutally honest. He was like, yeah, well, you can't make it past the mailbox. He was like, but once you able to do that, yeah, it might hit different.
Mm-hmm. And he agreed.
Right.
He agreed.
He was like, yeah, that's real.
He was like, and she's a homebody. So really she might be real mad when I can't leave the house. And basically they both agreed that is the test to see if this is really gonna last, when you can actually get your ass out the damn house and go see what's out there.
Right. Well, that was good old Brooklyn and Brian. So yeah, y'all, that was pretty much this episode of The Love That Happens After the Lockup. We appreciate y'all. If you have not already, all of our lovely Shade Squad and our new viewers, make sure y'all hit that like button for us.
Make sure you comment.
Make sure that you guys subscribe if you like the vibe over here.
Or just do it. Just
not the fourth. Not the fourth.
Like Nike.
Look, it's the fifth. It's not the fourth. Okay.
Like Nike. Okay. Just do it. Okay. Yeah, and hit that subscribe button. Oh, like what
notification bell. It's the notification.
Oh, notification bell. Yeah, do that too.
Yeah, make sure. And I did
just
again
follow the instructions. Just follow the instructions.
And yes, and we do have a membership starting at $2.99. We're getting ready to start doing member only lives and a lot of member only things. So please, if you are interested, the link will be in the description box for you guys. Yeah, we appreciate all your love and support, and we will catch you next week for another round of or later this week, I should say, for another round of this foolishness. This was love. And I think next week might be I would think it would be the finale. Because they usually only do like 8 episodes. And then they take a break.
These little side Mickey Mouse bun things are just.
You are so funny. All right. Anyway, y'all, we'll catch you next week. Have a good one. Bye-bye.